can't afford a divorce. Well, even if you can afford a divorce, you can't afford to miss this episode. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Dave.
Sure. What's up?
So, I don't know where I should start, but I've got over $85,000 worth of debt with my husband.
Did she say $485,000 worth of debt?
That's what I thought I heard.
Please,
half
please,
a million.
please only let it be 85.
No, I think
485.
485.
Maybe she can't afford a divorce. She can't afford to pay attention.
She can't afford to live.
Well, let's see what she makes. Let's see.
That we've incurred over probably the last 15 years, been having trouble paying it off.
You think?
So we're married for now. Not sure how much longer because I talked to a lawyer. He calls him a schmuck, basically.
The lawyer or your husband?
The lawyer calls my husband a schmuck.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
I know, isn't that beautiful? I have a high school graduate that
I mean, sometimes if the shoe fits.
going to college in August. We have a special needs daughter who's 13 years old. And I didn't work for like 8 years, but I went back about 7 years ago and I worked my way up. And I'm making about $75,000 right now. And
So she makes 75. What does he make?
he's finally, he had his own business, not doing anything, lost our butts trying to sell our house. And, using our profits to pay off all the debt from his business. But he finally has a job, a stable job for the past year and a half. So I'm trying to figure out how to pay
I bet all that debt's from that business.
off or how we're supposed to pay off this debt and gracefully exit out of the marriage. We're renting it now because
It makes a big deal of whose name those debts are in for the divorce.
we sold our house. We don't have a choice.
Let me stop you a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been married?
17, 18 years. I'm sorry, longer than that. 24. My bad.
24 years.
Yeah, lost track.
Why is your marriage over?
It's been
Great question.
mentally checked out for some time, for many, many years. He worked a lot trying to make money in the beginning and eventually nothing. And then the lockdown hit and
Maybe he's checked out because of all the debt.
Could be. I mean, he's a slave.
Well, she just said he works a lot. Well, yeah, he's trying to probably dig him out of the hole.
Debt is modern day slavery. It's indentured servitude. Every time you do that, you're selling your future self. You're allowing your present self to sell your future self. Don't enslave your future self, because I'd be real ticked off at my past self for enslaving me now.
we're able to stop some of the pain of not having money, but I've been working. So and a year ago, he told me he had a relationship with someone. And
Cheated a year ago.
That's an issue.
Basically,
There's the schmuck part.
Yeah, there's the schmuck part.
I was waiting for the schmuck part.
Have you filed yet? Have you filed for the divorce yet?
No. I just
Probably because she don't have the money.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm in Tampa. Everything's ridiculously expensive, and I can't. I've been looking to see, what my options are, but I can't afford to live alone right now.
I mean, Tampa, yeah, it's a little expensive, but you can move a little bit out. And I mean, can she work remote? Can she still make $75,000? She needs to cut her expenses down. She's got to live on her own income, her own money. She's got $75,000, but you can make it on $75,000. And if he's making money, then she would probably get child support if she has a good lawyer. But this is the problem. It's also another reason why I don't go into debt. The only thing really you should ever even consider going into debt for is a divorce. That's the only one thing.
Yeah, but I also think that they've been married 24 years, so the likelihood of having little children.
Yeah, they don't have little children.
Yeah,
that's true.
She might have child
He's
support
probably
for
waiting
2
her out.
years.
He's probably waiting her out and then just splitting the debt, and then he doesn't have to even make any payments to her because she's not supporting the kids.
And to be smart, try not to use the child support. Anybody out there should try not to use the child support as a means to live off of.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't.
No,
it's not enough.
because it's not going to last forever.
Exactly.
You make $75,000 a year?
I do.
People make $75,000 a year live by themselves all the time in Tampa.
That's
I know.
above average.
Exactly.
They don't live in your neighborhood.
I know.
But they live in Tampa.
We already lived out of but we lived out of the neighborhood. We live on the fringe, so to save money because rents were about $1,000 more where we were at.
Yeah.
When you talk to your lawyer about this, have you done any research to find out what the cost is, what might happen with your debt, that sort of thing?
I don't know. Yeah.
Critically important for you to talk to your lawyer about what debt and what's going to happen financially in the divorce.
I don't know what happens with the debt.
And make sure you're talking to a divorce attorney who's not going to tell you what they think that you want to hear, or not just try and get you to sell and buy something. that will tell you what you need to hear, even if it's not what you want to hear. That's what a lawyer does.
I'm not sure if I remember asking him about the debt. I just know that everything else is no fault. So basically, we just kind of walk away. It's not like one of us makes more than the other person right now. And my husband wants to consolidate the debt, or maybe.
What kind of debt do you have, honey?
So it's $85,000 in credit card debt. We paid off our HELOC and all this other stuff we had when we sold our house.
So it is only 85, not 485. But still, that's more than a year of her income. You can knock that out in 3 to 5 years if you're intense with it. You can get it done in 4 years if you're really intense with it. 5 years, you definitely need to, even if she had to pay it all. But she won't have to probably pay it all. And if she's got a good enough divorce lawyer, then she won't have to pay any of that debt. And hopefully she's not the primary card holder, that he's the primary card holder. Because if she's the primary card holder and he promises to pay off that debt, then you get divorced and he doesn't pay it off, too bad. You'll get a piece of paper from a judge saying you have to pay this off. And then what if he doesn't? It's a problem.
Yeah,
we
you're
were
still
pretty much left with nothing after we sold our house.
File bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's a consideration at that level. It absolutely is.
Yeah, she probably would qualify.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, she does. Mm-hmm. She does.
Okay, and I guess all the credit card debt is in both of your names.
Yeah, the one card's in his and two are in mine.
Mm-hmm. But is it about half?
Yeah.
The two that you have are about 42.5?
Yeah, 30. They're all 30 across the board. Mm-hmm. And it's just hard making the payments.
Okay, so you're $75,000 a year single mom that has $38,000 in credit card debt after the divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah. That would be my assessment of it at this point. But she mentioned HELOC. That means she has a house. Mm-hmm. And that means that they're going to probably sell the house.
Right.
And then she's going to have some assets, and she can pay that debt off and then maybe get into a house. It just depends. Depends on how much equity she's got in the house. Hopefully it's gone up. But the real estate market is dipping. And if she has to sell now and at a dip, that can be dangerous for her too.
Hopefully they've had the house since they've been married.
Yeah, if they've had it for 24 years, it should almost be paid off. And if they paid off the HELOC, then that means they don't have any second mortgages on it.
Right.
So she may be in a better position than we've found out yet.
Yeah.
And you have a special needs child.
Yes.
And he would hypothetically be paying child support.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. For him, yeah. My other daughter's gone now, or she's 18 now.
Yeah. So hypothetically, he'd have child support on the special needs child, right?
That's a special needs child.
Oh my God. She definitely has to get a lawyer because special needs child, it's lifetime child support. At least in Texas it is. And that's critically important. Mm-hmm. And you have to structure it the right way and using special needs trust to make sure that you don't preclude the Medicaid, Medicare, and government benefits. Because if you do it the wrong way and they have money coming in, then like you'll not get $2,000 a month from the government and you'll get $1,500 a month from in child support. Mm-hmm. Why would you want the child support when you've got your own tax money that you get some of it back?
Right.
You have to do it the right way so that you can get the government money and the child support money. Mm-hmm. She has to have a lawyer. There's no way she'd be able to do that on her own without a lawyer.
Right.
And so I'm sorry, this is a very sad situation.
It is.
But you're not mathematically trapped.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Lots of people make $75,000 a year in the Tampa area that have $38,000 in credit card debt and one kid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people.
I know, but we have a lot of health expenses because my older daughter actually has more health issues than my younger daughter, my special needs daughter. They both do, actually. Yeah. So we're constantly running the doctors, doing surgeries, doing different things, car repairs, and just the debt. It just,
That's not going to change.
Yeah.
You're not stuck mathematically.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
You're not.
She's stuck behaviorally, and her standard of living, like the difference. It's a 10% difference. Mm-hmm. Most people live 10% above their means. The wise and the truly wealthy live at least 10% below their means, and the difference is freedom versus slavery. It's that fine of a difference.
Oh yeah.
And the people that don't realize that, you're doing yourself a real big disservice if you to steal that 10% from the future costs you the entire future, and all you get is 10%. As opposed to if you live less than that, by giving away the 10% now and investing that, it pays you back 1,000-fold. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely mathematically unbelievable, the difference. You must do it. Please do it. Please pay off your debt, and please invest at least 10% of what you make.
If you want to be, you can decide you are, but the numbers you've given us has not got you stuck in this. And if he's having affairs and you're going to end the marriage based on that, then you're going to have half of the credit card debt.
It depends. A lot of times we negotiate that. There's other factors.
Right.
We go so much more in depth in our consultations and find this stuff, which is why we're going to start doing callers on this show. If you want to see us do some callers in, and this caller, I would love to have on our show and talk through that and show her exactly what it would be. Although she's in Florida, so we only can advise on Texas law, but I can at least give the ideas and things that might need to be done and to look in.
Well,
nothing that we do on the show is legal advice, but it's for informational purposes, and it's very, very good and valuable
Well, he
information.
hasn't asked a question like, how long have you owned your home?
Yeah.
Like, how much do you owe on your home?
That's because what his specialty is getting out of debt.
Yeah, but
as
that's a
opposed to
way of getting out
how
of
do you-
debt.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
That's
that
true.
right there
And the house is
alone.
going to be sold in the divorce.
Right.
Unless you come and negotiate some kind of way. And one thing that we've been
Unless
doing.
he can buy her out, but obviously he can't.
Well, but rather than pay child support, if she's under like a 2% mortgage, then if he just simply lets her live in the house and then they sell it years down the road, then that's beneficial more for both of them than the child support money is.
Maybe they have a special needs child though. So
Yeah,
you got to take that in consideration.
Well, unless he pays for that house until the house is paid off, and then she can live in the house for free without him paying child support because she'll buy the house from him. Mm-hmm. Now we have self-financed the house and kept the 2% interest rate versus an 8% interest rate. Because if she's in a $500,000 house, the difference in the interest rate is $2 million.
Oh yeah, I know.
And you're going to have the care of a child, and you make $75,000 a year, and you're going to go rent an apartment.
I think I think what I'm hearing is you've never been in a situation where money is being managed effectively, right?
That is the truest statement that has been said the whole time.
Right? And now you're about to go off on your own, and you don't have the confidence of knowing I can take the $75,000 a year and I can manage it effectively. It can be because it's never been enough before, right? So you don't know, like inside your body, you don't know that this is going to be enough, that I'm going to be able to take care of my kids, that I'm going to be able to pay the bills, and that I'm going to be able to pay this debt off. You don't know that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you understand that the story you told us
She
has
needs to
you all
take Dave
mathematical.
Ramsey's course before she goes on her own.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you heard one of my last consults, but I told somebody I would buy that course for them.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the ones I did Friday, I think.
With him working and earning,
Yeah,
you
having
working
it on
and
Saturday, so it would have been Friday.
Okay, yeah. So then Friday,
Yeah.
the lady that called in,
Okay.
I am buying them Financial Peace University as my gift to them.
Okay.
earning in the best place you've been in probably a decade. Mathematically, you're in the best place. Relationally,
Sure, but
obviously,
it's just,
obviously, you're not in the
Right.
best place.
She doesn't
Exactly.
feel that. She
You
doesn't feel
don't have
that,
any
though.
respect for him because he didn't make any money during this time. He's a schmuck because he slept around on you. And so relationally, you got those things to overcome for this marriage to survive if it's going to survive. But mathematically, you're in the best
spot
place you've ever been because
Mm-hmm.
with his
Yeah.
income, if the marriage survived with his income and your income, if you both decide to manage money together, you could clean this mess up.
What did they say his income is?
I never
she just
heard
said
that.
he's finally making money. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, she never really
Yeah,
stated.
I would want to know.
Yeah.
Yep.
She doesn't feel secure.
Right. She's not because they're still spending.
Well, there's a trust issue going on here.
and-
It's not just about
yeah.
the money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's about the cheating too. And then she's not trusting him. She probably doesn't trust him either with the money because
Right.
he's gotten her in this
Well,
kind of
it's
debt.
all the debt, and I bet that debt is financing his business. So is the money coming in, but he's just borrowing it and going back out? Is there profit? Profit first. If you own a business, you have to make profit. If you don't make profit, you are destroying everything rather than building. You're destroying yourself. You're destroying the future. You're destroying things for your clients, for your customers. It's for your family, everybody that you touch. You have to make profit. Don't just count on revenue and it's costing you more than that to make it. You've got to have money left over for growth and for the future.
rather quickly.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't know. We just re-signed our lease at $2,300. I mean, and that where we're at, that's like the cheapest that we could get. So we just renewed our lease.
It doesn't
The last
sound
one
like
went up
someone
to
that's filing for divorce to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who's filing for divorce that re-signs a new lease for a year?
Well, I don't know. I don't
either.
They
Who
signed
does-
a lease.
A lot of people want a divorce and sign leases for a year because
Is the lease the house or is the lease the
I don't know.
business?
I guess the lease is the house. Maybe they don't have the HELOC. I don't know what that was then. A HELOC is a home equity line of credit, and it's borrowed against equity in a home that you own. But I don't know why she signed a lease for something.
Unless it has to do with a business,
I
which
don't know.
means that her name's on the business too.
Yeah.
I
What's
have
that?
too much going on mental. I don't know.
I think you just made a choice
because I did
thinking
the
you got-
mentally-
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
a
was like, I
daughter,
have no
going to
choice.
college.
Yeah.
I have no choice.
You
And
had a
do
choice,
have a
but you
choice.
felt like you had no
You do have a
choice.
choice, but you're taking your choices away.
Yeah.
By, if you want to be stuck, I'll tell you, you can be stuck if you want to be. But
You'd be surprised how many people really are stuck and won't make the decision to leave a horrible, terrible, unhealthy marriage. There's two possible solutions to an unhealthy marriage. One, the ideal solution, make it a healthy marriage again. But if you can't do that, then two, get as healthy of a divorce as possible. And the subconscious equates familiarity with safety, even if it's not. So whatever is familiar, that's what she's going to do because she's afraid to leave. The fear of the unknown is greater than the fear of the known horrible thing. And it starts degrading your psyche, starts ruining you in your mind and in your heart, and it's a slow process. If you throw a frog into a pot of boiling water, it will immediately jump out. But if you slowly turn up the water and heat it up, it will boil to death because it doesn't know and it doesn't see the difference. It's because everything is gradual. And a lot of times it takes somebody looking at your situation to go, this is bad. You got to either fix it or get off the boat because the Titanic is going to hit that iceberg and this boat is sinking. So you can either change the direction of the boat, but if you can't change the direction of the boat, then you need to get off this boat. And there's plenty of people. That's why battered spouse syndrome is a very real thing, and it's very difficult, even for me, when I do that and I record the call, I have them listen to the call. What advice would you give to that other person? And this is the best tool for that. If your kids grow up and have a marriage like you have, how would you feel about that? And most of the time they say, oh, I would feel terrible. And then my reply is, then why do you wish that upon your mother's child? Why would you wish that upon your father's child? And why would you wish that upon your own children? Because their psyche and their subconscious equates familiarity with safety, even if it's not. That's why they say little girls grow up and marry their dads and little boys grow up and marry their moms. Why? Because when somebody treats them the way that they've seen treated, it's familiar to them and it's attractive. And they're most likely going to manifest into their life the marriage that you demonstrated what marriage is. Your marriage is the demonstration of what marriage is. And if you demonstrate an unhealthy marriage, then you're most likely condemning your kids to that. It's a J curve. It makes the letter J. Like you start out a kid at 0 and then you start putting all the negativity into them. And then they go, no, I want something better. I want something better. Oh, it's too hard. Boom. Bottom of the J curve over and over and over again. If you graph it out. It's also referred to as a generational curse. And until somebody breaks that curse by either having a healthy marriage or having something different or getting as healthy of a divorce as you can and finding something that is healthy. Marriage is a sacrament. And Jesus said when they were trying to crucify him on the Sabbath, he said, well, which of you would not pull your ox out of a pit if it was on the Sabbath? Because you all would, was the lesson.
He wasn't it wasn't about he wasn't crucified. It was when they were condemning.
They were looking
They
for
were
a
condemning
reason
other people for working on the Sabbath, and then he said, "So if your ox got hurt, you're going to tell me you're not going to like pull it or help it."
Yep.
Like he was basically saying, you're condemning people for no reason.
Yes, and one of the points of it is that you don't sacrifice the man for the Sabbath. You sacrifice the Sabbath for the benefit of the man.
Right.
And marriage, just like the Sabbath. The Sabbath is a sacrament. Marriage is a sacrament.
Right.
Marriage is not supposed to be 1 + 1 = less than 2. It's supposed to be 1 + 1 = 2 or more, something better for both of you. And if it's not happening, you're not meant to destroy yourself inside of a marriage. But so many people do that.
Right.
And they ruin their lives. And all you have is time. How much more time do you have left in your life? And how much of that time do you want to be living in the unhealthy marriage that you can't fix? Now, listen, I'm a big proponent. I believe people should fix their marriages. I believe they should work on it. I believe there's a long series of steps that you should do. You should improve your communication. You should go to marriage counseling to get suggestions about your particular situation on how you could fix and improve that. But if you've done that, or if they refuse to do any of that stuff, if the other person is not willing to do whatever it takes in order to make your marriage work, then your marriage will not work. There are 3 steps to determine whether you have a viable marriage. Step 1, do you want the marriage to work? If either one of you don't want the marriage to work, it will not work. It's impossible. Step 2, are you willing to do whatever it takes to make your marriage work? Whatever that is, whatever. Even if you don't know what it is, whatever it is that can make my marriage work, I'm willing to do that. If both you and your spouse are yes to that question, then you go to step 3. Step 3 is capability. And ability takes 2 things. Knowledge, do you know what it will take? And capability, are you capable of doing whatever it is that you know it will take? Well, if you don't know what it will take, that's what marriage counseling comes in. You go to the counselor, they give you some suggestions about what it might take to make your marriage work, and then you go out and see if you're able and capable to do that. You cycle through that as much as possible, as long as both of you want the marriage to work and both of you are willing to do whatever it takes. So then it's, well, what does it take? That's a healable marriage. In fact, that's every marriage, because nobody really knows what it'll take. Especially when you get into it, it's always different than what you thought. And the fact that it's always different than what you thought is one of the things that makes it problematic and difficult, because it's not what you thought. Yeah, great, you're normal, because it's not what anybody thinks. It never is. It's always different. And one of you thought it was going to be this way, and then the other one thought it was going to be this way, and y'all are trying to steer the car in 2 different directions, as opposed to it's actually neither one of those things. It's this in the middle. It's together, and then let's steer the car and go together. And it takes communication. It takes intentional decisions and hard work, and a decision inside your heart that I am all in, 100% all in.
But you're not stuck. So, I think that you guys could sit down with a good marriage counselor and invest some time and energy into this 25-year marriage and give this a shot. Since you just signed a 1-year lease, I kind of think you want to do that deep down. And by the way, if you ask a divorce attorney if you're supposed to get a divorce, 100% of the time they say yes.
That's not true. I don't. I'd say the exact same thing that I just said. Here, I give them the marriage viability assessment. And if that assessment comes back that their marriage is not viable, then yes, I tell them to get a divorce. But I have had hundreds of people that have come to me. I view myself as the guard at the gate. And my general rule is thou shalt not pass. Because if you pass me, you have to get a divorce. And I wouldn't wish a divorce on anyone. I strongly prefer to heal marriages. And here's the thing, divorce attorneys. If you heal someone's marriage and you help them to not get divorced, anytime anybody ever says the word divorce in front of them, or their friends or anybody, they will send them to you. We have an infinity amount of clients that come to us because I do it that way. Please, I wish everybody would do it that way, because it's the #1 marketing thing you can do, and it's free. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.